The people have spoken. And today we are going to be talking about interior offensive linemen. What is up, Fin fans? Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Just got done watching WrestleMania, that main event. So good. I'm not going to spoil for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but holy moly, was it just a complete roller coaster. Craziness, absolutely craziness. But yes, if you see here, I asked on Twitter and I asked in the community tab, and I'm going to show you the community tab in 2 seconds. What do you guys want me to do? Because every year I go back every 3 years and kind of look at the draft and see how did we do? Are they still with us? Are they good? Da 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 da. So I asked you guys, do you want to talk about interior offensive line prospects or do you want to talk about the 2021 draft? And emphatically, you guys, well, 200 on, what was that, Twitter? 777, very lucky number. Here, 72 and 73.1% wanted to talk about interior offensive linemen. And for the people asking, wait, Doug, I didn't see this. If you go to the homepage of my YouTube channel, right, you can see videos, shorts, lives, you can see playlists, which I never do. Membership, this is where you can go to see special videos for the members, but you come to the community tab here, and this is where you see all the stuff that I post, kind of like Twitter. So if there's breaking news that something happened, like Dolphins bring back Kendall Lamb, you could see it all here. So if you go to the community tab right here, you can see the poll that I put up, which more people voted. So 93 now, and again, it's 72%. You could see all that stuff. I talked about the earthquake that happened, scared the crap out of me and my wife on Friday. You can see all these posts, condolences, and all that stuff. So again, if you go to the community tab, that's where, if you don't have a Twitter and you're like, I don't want Twitter, go to the community tab. That's where I post the stuff that I normally would post on Twitter. Okay, with that out of the way, let's jump into this. We're talking interior offensive linemen, aka guards and centers. Guards and centers are kind of interchangeable, not always, but some are interchangeable. So that's why I'm just talking interior offensive linemen, not doing a video specifically for guards and doing a video specifically for center. Also, because a lot of these guys can go back and forth, but also there's some guys that are listed as tackles coming into the draft that aren't tackles. There's 2 guys on my list that are listed as tackles that aren't. So we're going to jump into this. We're going to get into the number 5, and my number 5 is Zack Frasier. He is 6'3", 310, West Virginia. He's from West Virginia, obviously the WV. 6'3", 310 pounds. His pros, he's fantastically flexible, which you need to have in the interior. Now, if you remember on Friday, we talked about tackles. And with tackles, the thing you need from them is the fast moving legs, because they have to shuffle to block on your exteriors, and the steps and the jabs for them, because they need to keep you away from the quarterback. Interior is going to be a little bit different. So his core strength and his body control are a plus. He has a high offensive line IQ that is very important. Now, Zack Frasier is listed as a center, and to have that high offensive line IQ, you need to call shifts and all that other stuff. Now, the quarterbacks call some things, but a lot of times you need to have a very smart center that can look at the way the defensive line looks in front of them and call out certain things. He gets very low on quarterback sneaks, which is important. Kind of take your guy out, let your quarterback get in. Adequate overall athleticism to shuffle and climb to the second level. Excellent forearm grip strength to latch on. Again, the movement. And he's very good at getting to the second level. Now, his cons, and this is why I have him at number 5, and some people have him as a day 2 pick, so I wouldn't be upset with Zack Frasier at 55. He's a little too easy for defenders to toss aside, even when he has good hand placement. So his strength isn't all there. Now, this, again, can be taught. He can work on this in the weight room, but he's too easy to be moved. And as an interior guy, as your center, you want to be able for your tackles to move the defenders and allow you to step up in the pocket to give yourself more time to continue your reads or make your throws. If your center is getting tossed aside, all of a sudden you can't step up because you're going to get sacked. So that's something he needs to work on. And he can get in trouble with longer interior defenders getting across his face. So those are the two reasons. Those are the two big reasons that I have him at number 5. But again, I would be very happy with him at 55. I think he would be a really big reach at 21, but definitely at 55. Now, my number 4 interior offensive lineman is Christian Haynes out of Connecticut. 6'2", 313, so a little bit shorter, but a little bit heavier than Frasier. His pros, he makes a great puller and a zone blocker. You're going to notice that my stacking of the numbers, now with me, set 4 and 5 were hard to decipher who I wanted where, but the zone blocking and the pulling is important, especially if he's going to play guard. It's what you need. Overall athleticism is above average. First step is better than top speed. Again, in this zone style of run offense, we need that movement. Consistent and strong hand placement to control and throw defenders. Properly distributes weights, good mass in the lower half. Ideal build for an interior offensive lineman, short in height for leverage, but also average weight and arm length. So again, he's 6'2", but he's 313, whereas Frasier's 6'3", but 310. See what I'm saying there? So this guy has got the speed. He's a little stockier, but he's going to be a little bit like a bulldog moving you. Now, his cons are he's not nearly as effective when blocking up the middle in a man gap than a puller or on his zone blocking plays. And what do the Dolphins run? Zone blocking. And that's why I have him ahead of Frasier, and I would be happy with taking him at 55. He doesn't sit in pass protection like he needs to. Balance can be an issue. All of these things can be taught, but that's why I have him at number 4 over Frasier, is because he kind of fits that zone run scheme a little bit better. Now we're getting into guys that'll be there or the Dolphins might take at 21. So again, Haynes and Frasier, you're looking at 55. Now we're going into who the Dolphins could and who I'd be ecstatic if they took at 21. Now, my number 3 guy, you got Graham Barton out of Duke, 6'5", 314. He is a big man. Now, again, Christian Haynes is 6'2", 313. This man is a whole 3 inches taller than him. Pros, well-balanced and pre-snap base. His butt is a bit high, but he is loaded on his quads to explode off the snap. So when you get down, you don't want to have your butt sticking up too high because your head would kind of go low into the ground, and then a lot of times the defenders can just move you out of the way. So that's why talking about his butt being too high, but he's got the low quads that can able to get him to push up. Strong grip strength. So you're going to hear that from a lot of pros on these guys because you want them to grab tight. Again, inside isn't holding, outside is holding. So if you're ever watching football and you're like, oh, they're getting away with so many holes, if they're holding on the inside, that's not holding. Once you get outside the pads, that's when it's holding. He has a mean streak in the run game. He boosts the athletic ability and coordinate to get to the second level and be effective. Excellent leg drive, especially on combo blocks, and reliable hand placement to control defenders. All of this is a huge, huge plus. His cons, his strength trails off after initial punch, so he doesn't have a good combination. Like, you want your punches as an offensive lineman every time they land to be impactful. Whereas his first one's going to move you, but then he kind of petties off a little bit. His grip strength is a plus, but his tendencies to clamp on leads to holding penalties. So he's good at getting you, and he's not going to let you go, but he tends to get a little too wide on his holds. Can get on his toes too much and overextend. Never a good thing. You don't want to overextend yourself, because then that's when you start falling on your face, and that's where all of a sudden your offensive linemen are on the ground when they should be blocking. Foot speed and length are not at the level of an NFL tackle. Now, Graham Barton is considered a tackle. So some of these negatives that you're hearing are because they have him listed as a tackle. He is going to play either guard or center. Now, possibly guard, but no, sorry, possibly center, but definitely a guard. And the fact that his foot speed and length are not at the level of an NFL tackle, that's why they're going to, wherever he gets drafted, he's going to get kicked in the inside. I like Graham Barton. I don't think he makes it to 55, so I would not be upset with him being taken at 21. Next, this guy, I think you guys know who this guy is. He is, in fact, a Miami Dolphin fan, and I would be ecstatic if the Miami Dolphins took him, and that is Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. 6'3", so not as big and intimidating as Graham Barton. 320 pounds. He is a big mover. He is going to move you off of the ball, especially in the run game. He has a big chest and midsection, helps generate a ton of upper body strength. He's dense player who can anchor quickly and effectively. Destroyer of worlds type mentality. You're looking at a bully on the offensive line. Very good grip strength to toss defenders to the side. He would be our center for years to come. His only con is he has short arms even for an interior player. That's his only con. This man is a mover, and you want him at your center position. Now, he is a top 20 pick, so he might not be there at 21, which would suck, because if he's there at 21, I'm putting it in. Yes, we have Brewer, but you have JPJ. You're good at center. You put him in at center with that mentality, with that bruteness, with that upper body strength, with all that moving and throwing people, and you're good. Brewer, you go to guard, and we have JPJ at center. Good to go. I would absolutely be ecstatic with this pick at 21. Now, I always give you every year for the draft about 3 or 4 guys I'd be happy with, because I don't go into the draft saying, I want this guy at 21. Because then you're just going to be disappointed when you get to 21 and he's gone. I always give myself around 3 or 4 guys, and JPJ, if you gun to head, who do you want at 21? It's Latu and JPJ. I'm getting ahead of myself because I think next week or this week, later on this week, because we have now about 2 weeks and I still have to do mock drafts, and then I'm doing mock drafts, and then I'm doing a mock draft with trades, and then I'm reacting to mock draft. I got so many videos. So we're going to do edges probably later this week, maybe Friday, but Latu or JPJ's there. That's who I want at 21. And this man is just a beast. The fact that he grew up a Dolphins fan, like, how do you not, like, when you play Madden and you can get drafted in the single player mode, we all get drafted to the Dolphins. And that would, like, how awesome would that be if we drafted him? And the number one guy, I'm going to butcher his name. I know I'm going to butcher his name, is Troy Fontanu. Troy Fontanu? Fontanu. I know I butchered his name. Out of Washington, he is 6'4", 317 pounds. He is listed as a tackle, but he is not a tackle in the NFL. I think he will be a guard. Same thing with Graham Barton. Just like Graham Barton, he's a huge human being, 6'4", 317. He has flexible groin and hips to sit low and gets his butt down in pre-snap stances. Again, he gets that low center of gravity, so when the snap comes, he'll be able to get up and move what you want to move. That's, if you ever notice with the pads, the bangers, as you like to call them, because you're bah, bah, they get low, especially the defensive linemen. They get low and you come up. You want to push up, kind of take your defender in front of you off his feet, and then drive and move him. That's why you see them move the sleds. You get down low center of gravity, and then you go up, hit the sled, and move it. Boom. That's what he does well. Fast feet that fire off the ball in run and pass blocking. Impressive athlete for his size, full offensive line position flexibility, his legs drive that just don't quit, and excellent handwork to flash/reset/latch on/grab/ all these things. His cons, his combo block strength is hit or miss. He has some reps where he gets over aggressive, again, that's a situation where you'll tend to fall on your face, where you're trying to block somebody and they can get around you because you're trying to do too much. He lacks weight in his lower half, and his power is good when he has momentum. If not, it's not dominant. So if he's not moving you and if he doesn't have the momentum off snap, he's going to struggle. Now, Troy is probably going to be like a top 15 pick, but again, if he's there at 21, I would not be upset with taking him at 21 because he has such flexibility to play all over the offensive line that if he can pan out to be a tackle, obviously we would put him at guard, let him play guard because we're kind of good at the tackle positions, and then move him to the tackle positions. But that's who I got for you for my top 5 interior offensive line prospects. JPJ is my guy out of this list. I would not be upset with Graham Barton. I'm hearing great things about him, that he's moving up people's boards. You're going to hear some things, and I noticed this too because I saw it on Twitter. Let me pull it up because it made me laugh. And this is another video I'm going to talk about where it's kind of like rumors coming out of the combine. Report, there are red flags about LSU wide receiver Malik Neighbors and has been asked by teams about his off the field problems during the draft process. The teams, this report and these sources that are coming out with the red flags are teams that want him. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo is putting that out because they hope he falls far enough that they can trade up and get him. I'm making a whole video talking about rumors and misinformation that are coming out of the draft to help their people, yada, yada. So that's one thing that I saw that I was like, well, let me talk about that, because one thing is coming out that JPJ, not a lot of people are as high on him as it's made to be, and he actually isn't considered to be a first round pick, blah, blah, blah. I bet you the Dolphins are putting that out because they want to grab him at 21. But comment below. What are your top 5 prospects on the interior offensive line? Do you agree with mine? Do you think yours would be a little different? Do you think that Troy and Barton are tackles and I shouldn't have put them at guards? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you tomorrow when we recap the 2021 draft. And then I think on Wednesday, we're going to redraft the 2021 draft. Or should I do that all in one video? Comment below. I'll see you in the next one. But like usual, stay classy. FN's up.